Yo, what up y'all, IntraVenus here, back with another episode. Today I have a very special package to open from Socal Gameboy. This is a website run by an individual who creates awesome modified Game Boys. Not just Game Boys or only Game Boy Colors or Game Boy Advances, he does all kinds of consoles. But this is a Game Boy Advance. I actually had shown this console in my previous video, so you might have seen the console, but you did not see the unboxing. And this package has to be seen for multiple reasons. I highly suggest you guys order your own custom Game Boy, especially a custom Game Boy Advance from Socal Gameboy. This is the type of package that I received. This is exactly how it came, except for it was also wrapped in a lot of bubble wrap and in another box. Really well packaged. It was a real big, professional looking, fragile, handle with care sticker on the box. And once I got all that unwrapped, I had this little mini suitcase with the little twisty lock. It's got latches. This thing, you know, it looks like it has a black box in it that you would find from a crashed helicopter or something. I mean, what's in here, right? I bet if I dropped this into a lake, it'd probably just float off and I might still be able to play the Game Boy. This is awesome. So here's his cool logo, Socal Gameboy. Let's open it up. Yes. This is exactly how it came. I didn't add anything here, y'all. So first of all, he included a really cool iron-on patch with his logo and company name. I love the logo and I like the patch too. This I also featured one of these in my previous video. Y'all need to check out Socal Gameboy. SocalGameboy.com. Now, underneath the patch, we have something here that I actually already added a sticker to because he included extra stickers. This was just white, but I wanted that Socal Gameboy logo on here too. What this is a consolizer. So this turns the Game Boy Advance into a console where I can plug in like a Nintendo mini NES controller or an actual Super Nintendo controller, and we could power it through USB-C, and when I've dropped the console on here, I can play it like a little TV and control it with this included wireless Super Nintendo controller. Any Super Nintendo controller would work. The thing is that this is perfect actually for the channel because I do a lot of gameplay on Game Boys and I have to keep my hands steady holding the Game Boy in front of the camera, and this way I can play the Game Boy on actual hardware without really moving it around at all. It'll look really clean. You can see the whole Game Boy. Great. You know, this is a like cheap made in China SNES controller, but I have no qualms with it. It feels just like a Super Nintendo controller and it worked perfectly. We're going to show you that in just a moment. Now, before I pop out the console, he also included a little card here. He's got a phone number there at the bottom too. I don't know if he wants me to share the phone number, but here we have the email address and the website, some of the stuff that he takes care of there. I say he because I think it's just one guy running this, but who knows? This is a really good business, and maybe it'll continue to grow. Maybe he's got other friends and relatives that work on these too. I'm not sure. I recommend you go ahead and check it out. So now we have the Game Boy. This is what I ordered from him. This is what I wanted. I purchased. I contacted Socal Gameboy personally after finding out about his website and seeing all these pictures of these amazing Game Boys that he makes. Just oohing and eyeing over them for months, I decided to order my own. And this is the Game Boy Advance with many mods to it, including we got a rechargeable funny playing battery in there that's rechargeable with USB-C. We've got these solid state caps, these yellow caps, different capacitors than you'd normally find. We of course have the IPS screen with brightness control, and we've got an audio mod with dehum, dehiss, all that great stuff. And of course he also added this extra port here so I could play this as a console. You just pop it right on here. And you know, let's go ahead and check that out right now actually. Oh wait, first look, more stickers. Some little square ones. I love these. Dude, I love it. Socal Gameboy. Huge shout out. Y'all need to check it out. Order yourself. just this amazing custom this guy's based in California, I believe, in the United States, so you're not ordering from China or anything. You can stay in communication with them, and you don't have to worry about what's going to show up at your door, because you can buy custom Game Boys from a lot of places. I think they sell them on AliExpress, but I would not recommend that, because you're paying about the same amount of money, and you're probably going to get something that's a little janky. They didn't put a lot of love into it. They're just pumping them out with the cheapest parts they could find, and no love. Let's go ahead and check out some gameplay. Here's Pokemon Arceus. It's beautiful. This thing gets really loud. Look at this. It's just beautiful. But look, you can raise the brightness and lower the brightness. Raise the brightness, lower the brightness. Let's check out a Game Boy game on it. We got Trip World here. Alright, so we tried out a Game Boy game and a Game Boy Advance game. They look freaking amazing on this. You'll be seeing a lot more of those gameplays on this channel, but we gotta check out this little Docky Doodad too, so why not try it out with some classic Pokemon Orange here. I'll show you from the top how we set it up, and then we'll go on from there. Alright, so what I have found is if you want to use the wireless controller, you need to have this plugged in the back. If you're using a wired Super Nintendo controller, it seems to work fine without plugging this into anything at all, because it's getting all the power from the Game Boy Advance itself, it would seem. I'll show you both, but first let's go ahead and do the wireless. So we've got our little dongle here. It's already showing something because it's plugged in. And then we're gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and pop our game in here. Pokemon Orange. I'm gonna drop it on the dock. You can't see anything yet. And then I would just hit start on the remote. Let's get a different angle. Alright, here's an angle where you can kind of see everything that's going on. So, once again, you can see we've got our dongle over here. We've got our console on the Consolizer. I think that's what it's called. And then we'll press start. It frickin' works, man. It works well. You change the aspect ratio if you want, though most people won't want to play their games like this. There does seem to be just a, maybe a millisecond delay. I don't think it's much. But let's go ahead and try the regular corded controller. I took the power out of the back of the base. Here I have my Hyperin Scout. Plugged it in there. You see the wire and no power. Now let's see if I can control it. Yep. And is there a delay? I don't think so. I don't know if there is. Like I said, maybe a millisecond. This is working. This is really cool, y'all. Alright, y'all. So we tried it on this little docky doodad. Got to see some Game Boy Advance, Game Boy gameplay. We tried the wireless controller and a wired controller. We've used it with power and without power. What do y'all think about this? I think this is just incredible. I know that the Game Boy modding community has been going hard for a long time, and it just keeps getting better and better. But there are certain modders out there that have just made this a business, and they do it really well. I mean, this is a clean, well made with love Game Boy Advance. It was sent with care. The packaging and presentation was top notch. I cannot recommend Socal Gameboy more. So go ahead and check out the description. I got a link there and some more information about Socal Gameboy. I really appreciate y'all sticking around to the end of the episode. Please let me know down in the comments what you think about this Game Boy and Game Boy modding. And do you have a modded Game Boy? Have you ever made one yourself? I've made a few, but nothing like this. This is top notch, yo. This is really good. So, hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're not. I really appreciate it. It helps me out and encourages me to make more videos. I got a lot more coming, and all of the gameplay videos that I'll be making will be on Custom Game Boys by Socal. And that's right, I said Game Boys because I also have a Game Boy Color coming. And it's going to be even pimper than this. So don't forget to hit them up, and I'll catch y'all on the next episode. Peace out.
Childhood, we were all there together, and in denial would play like it was forever. And in the tall woods, we'd stay out of the weather like it was all good. Every day we made it for pleasure. We were saying whatever came to our minds, plain and simple like a tether ball reaching the sky. We were taking new heights on the swing while it was making us fly. Beat the king of the hill and everything will be fine. The thrill of everything we